I reminisce. Yeah. I reminisce for a spell, or shall I say?
Welcome to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast, your home for the mindset, methodology, and tools needed to be a successful foreclosure acquisition specialist. And now your host, the Foreclosure Deals Coach, Donny.
Hi, this is Donny, your Foreclosure Deals Coach, and this is our first podcast episode for ForeclosureDealsCoach.com. We are broadcasting from the Johns Mansfield building in downtown Denver, Colorado, and we are proud to be sponsored by Privy Software. Hey, we want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to this podcast. There's so many podcasts out there, man, like so much information. And got my producer here, Mr. John Winston. Say hi, John.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
All right, so we got John in the back of the scenes. He's going to make sure I stay on task today. But listen, every podcast you tune into, and there are thousands, hundreds of thousands, I think, of podcasts out there, right? So you want to know right out of the gate, what is this podcast going to be about? Is this worth your time? Hey, listen, I don't blame you. Your time is valuable. My time is valuable. I want to make sure we're not wasting either. Is that fair? So here are the Foreclosure Deals podcast. We're going to be discussing foreclosures, the purchasing of properties that are below market or distressed properties, okay? So if you're looking to get a start or build a career in real estate investing, this could be an ideal podcast for you. But know this, we call it the Foreclosure Deals Coach program because not all foreclosures are good deals. And not all deals are foreclosures. So the essence of this program is helping you to differentiate where you find good deals and bad deals in the marketplace. And then if you're looking for it, here on this program, we're going to coach you through the ability to locate deals, fund those deals, and build a successful career in real estate investing. Now listen, out of the gate, there are 1 billion real estate investing podcasts out there, okay? So obviously we got to do something a little bit differently. So to tell you how we're going to do things differently, I'd like to start by giving you an idea of my story. Now, I hope you find it funny. I can tell you I didn't find it funny at the time, right? But I did my first deal way back when I bought a property in 2008. Okay, now you got to remember the marketplace in 2008 was kind of a disaster, right? We had just gone through the big mortgage meltdown, okay? So the market was raging out of control. 05 was awesome. 06 was even better. 07, it's like, something's wrong. And by 08, lenders were pulling out of the market left and right. It was absolutely a smorgasbord of collapse. The marketplace was going to nothing. And in that time period, everybody and their mother wanted to make money in real estate. Not many people could, right? So suddenly you've got all these gurus who are showing up. Hey, market collapse, buy at the bottom of the market. Those who were not scared to death jumped into the marketplace and thankfully made a ton of money. And I wanted to be one of those, right? So here I am at my day job as a software tech support guy, right? And I'm hating this job, so it's a daily grind thing we all got to do to feed our families, to make a living. And me and one of my fellow tech support guys are sitting in the office space and going, hey, I want to do this real estate investing thing. Does that describe you too? Like, have you been anywhere, like everybody you talk to wants to do real estate investing, am I right? Yeah, man, I've always wanted to do that. Listen, you don't have to think about it. It's something you can actually do. I actually started to do it. So me and this guy are sitting there working on our coding, doing what we got to do. When he says, I've always wanted to real estate invest. I've always wanted to invest in real estate too. Let's do this. So we go out and buy a property. Let me tell you, I managed to do pretty much everything wrong. I went out of my way to break every one of the rules of real estate investing, which is why I wish I had a coach available to me at the time to keep me out of hassle. But I'm going to tell you the story anyway, because I think you'll like it. So step one of doing stuff wrong in Donnie's first deal was buying a turn-of-the-century Victorian house in downtown Colorado Springs, Colorado. Okay, nothing wrong with downtown Colorado Springs, Colorado. Gorgeous place. I grew up there. Liberty class in 1995. Hope you Lancers are listening. Love the city, but you don't buy a turn-of-the-century home unless you know a lot, and I mean a lot, about flipping a property. And I personally cannot hold a hammer without the risk of injuring myself or somebody nearby. My wife, who's going to laugh at this right now, is far more handy than I am. That's just fact, okay? So I should not be brandishing power tools or even non-power tools because somebody, namely me, is likely to get hurt. That's just the bottom line, okay? So we buy this turn of the century Victorian. And here I am with my fellow tech support engineer standing in the foyer of this 1900 built home with the paisley carpeting. It had a Van Briggle fireplace. I didn't know what that was back then, but turns out a very expensive collector's item. The fireplace alone was worth like $20,000, something like that, right? And we're standing there going, we got to start fixing the house. So I look at my buddy, I go, where do you want to start? What should we fix first? You know, thinking we're just going to fix this thing ourselves. He goes, hey man, I don't know anything about fixing houses. I go, well, when we agreed we were going to do real estate investing together, I thought you had an expertise on this. You said you had a construction background. He said, no. He said, I grew up in a construction family. My dad has a construction background, but my dad ain't here. Right? Like, this is, that's right. Oh no, right? So we're sitting around, and I swear, we went back to the house 3, 4, 5 times to try to decide what we were going to fix in this property, and came up with, you'll love this, we bought kitchen cabinet knobs. Right, and we replaced the kitchen cabinet knobs. This was my first flip property, right? So I'm flipping this house with kitchen cabinet knobs. Needless to say, nothing happened with that. The house didn't sell on that. But I met during this process my mentor, my coach, who I still work with today, to this very day, who taught me how to sell this property. It actually worked out really good, but I'll give you the end of the story when we get there. So mistake 1, turn of the century Victorian, right? Don't buy an older house if you don't know what you're doing. Just don't do that. It's a bad idea. Number 2, how I financed the property. I went through conventional financing. And here's the problem with that. Now you're dealing with banks. And when you're trying to buy an investment property, you got to explain to a lending institution at a time where lending institutions are falling apart. Remember, it's 2008, right? So I'm trying to get a conventional loan through on a non-owner-occupied property. I got to tell you, man, it was like pulling teeth, just pain after pain after pain. And the earnest money, which at the time was fundamentally my life savings, right, was at jeopardy the entire time. We didn't know if this deal was going to go through, it was not going to go through. Deadlines kept getting missed. The stress was incredible. As a matter of fact, if I had known now what I knew then, I wouldn't have done this again. Because I got to tell you, it was so stressful trying to figure this thing out with conventional financing. That was a mistake too. So I bought a Victorian. Okay, I'm using conventional financing when I shouldn't be. Hard money or private lending is the way to go. We're going to talk about that a lot on this show. Okay, the next step that I managed to do wrong was having absolutely no idea what the retail price of the property was. Okay, so we purchased this property for $212,000, which I thought was a good deal. I mean, that's a decent price for a house. It was a decent price for a house back then, right? But you really need to know what you're going to sell the property for before you buy it, right? That's a very important process. And it seems obvious as I tell you this now, as you're listening to the sound of my voice, man, you should have just known better, but I didn't. I didn't know better, okay? And that's the key and why we created a program to help people not make the same mistake. So I have a house way too old, right? I financed it incorrectly. I don't know what I'm going to sell it for. And finally, I had no plan for rehabilitating this property. I didn't know how to do it. And if I did know how to do it, I didn't know what needed to be done to sell it. Okay, all of these things could have been avoided. I can tell you this story ends well. We purchased the property for about $212,000. I sold it on the open market as a quote-unquote fixer-upper. Keep in mind, I put my kitchen cabinet knobs on it, so this fixer-upper looked good. Those cabinet knobs look good, right? So we sell a fixer-upper for $255,000. This young nurse walks into the property, and I didn't even know I had to show them. This is how green I was. I didn't know you were supposed to show the property, so we had a lockbox on it because we were visiting the house a lot. So we put a lockbox on the property so we could walk around and pretend like we knew how to fix it. I gave her the lockbox code. We didn't happen to be there. I go, check it out. Tell me what you think. She calls me back and says, I'll take it. I go, okay, but I didn't tell you how much it was yet. She goes, doesn't matter. I'll take it. I'm like, hallelujah, right? I'm singing praises at that point, right? So she ends up, I go, well, how much is it then? I go, $255,000. And that seemed like a good idea, right? Except when we got the appraisal later on, it was worth $268,000, right? So I left another 13 grand on the table. Basically, guys, I managed to do everything wrong, and in the end, I still got a check after my split on this property for $17,864.38. But who's counting? And you know why I remember that? Because it's like it was yesterday. Most liberating experience of my life. And from that point, I've been in real estate ever since. So that's my story. Let's talk about who you are. Let's get to know each other a little bit, okay? You, as an avid listener of the Foreclosure Deals Coach program, hopefully want to start or expand a career in the real estate industry. We are looking to work with sales professionals because, listen, when you're selling foreclosures, it's not the white picket fence or the nice property. You have to present a investment opportunity to investment savvy buyers. Whereas the average real estate agent, you got to know this about real estate agents, okay? The average agent in the marketplace sells 4 houses per year. That's the NAR talking, okay? That's not me. The National Association of Realtors says 4 houses per year, okay? A foreclosure specialist can do 25 to 30 houses pretty easily, okay? Because you're dealing with people who don't buy one house and then sit on it. They buy 3 or 4 houses per year. They buy them, they fix them up, they sell them. That's what this program is about, and I hope that's why you're tuning in today. So if you're not already a licensed real estate agent, that's okay, because part of our coaching program is to help you get your real estate license for completely free by joining up with a team of agents who are going to work to do this. We're not hiring agents off the street, and that's why you can get the license for free, because with this program, you have the opportunity to get your license as part of the program and be reimbursed for it, which is incredible. Currently, we are partnered with Real Estate Express. You can get your real estate license in any one of the 50 states, United States of America. We're focused on Colorado, because right here in Denver is where I'm located, but we're going to be hiring and recruiting and training agents all across the country, and hopefully educating you on becoming a foreclosure acquisition specialist right there in your local marketplace. That's what this podcast is about. That's why I hope you're tuning in. Right? So let's talk about real estate agents in general. See, the reason why we're not specifically looking to hire real estate agents for this program is because the licensing process is not designed to teach you how to be an investment specialist. When you get your real estate license, just conjure that up for a minute, right? When you're thinking about getting your license, and I hope you are, if you don't already have it, you're thinking about nice houses, nice neighborhoods, meeting your neighbors out and doing a backyard barbecue and all that stuff. And listen, that is one facet, one very important facet of real estate. We have to have that. We have to have a retail segment of real estate, right? Just in order to have a good used car lot, you have to have the new cars on the street to begin with, okay? So I'm not knocking it. It's just not what we do here. We are focusing on investment property. Our clients, the people I hope to work with in this program, want to buy value. So in 2008, I'm doing flips and I'm making my money on flipping, but what I found was there's this huge gap in my income. See, with flipping, you buy a house, you work on it for a while, hopefully you do more than kitchen cabinet knobs, like I did on my first one, right? You finance it, that process takes some time, right? You gotta fix it up, and then you gotta sell it in the marketplace. So I'm getting these huge checks as a real estate investor. The dream was coming true, but there's a huge gaps in my income. I'm finding that in between flips, I gotta kind of be careful, because when you're getting these big checks, you don't know for absolute certain when the next big check is coming in. Well, right about 2010, when the market had really bottomed out, my ability to purchase investment property also bottomed out as well. The hard money brokers, hard money lenders, the guys I was funding my deals with, because I learned from that first deal, don't go through banks, use private and hard money lending, and that's another benefit is I've got connections in that area, so I can hook you up with the people you need to get these deals funded. But back then, they were starting to get gun shy. See, 08 was the collapse. 2010 was a realization of that collapse. So here I am, I've left the workforce, I'm investing for full time about 2 years, it was awesome. About 2010, my hard money and financing resources were drying up. And this was the worst possible time for this to happen. Why? Because the market was wrought with deals. They were just everywhere. There were houses on the corner, people were begging you to buy properties, but the hard money guys didn't know if you'd be able to sell them. So financing dried up. So in 2010, I had to go back to work. Yeah, like it was like the worst case scenario for me. So here I am working another tech support job. You know, I'm a former real estate investor with a really bad attitude towards working now, right? Because I've been out of the workforce for a couple of years. I'm not trying to do this again, right? So, but I got kids to feed. I got mouths to feed. And it occurs to me, I can't buy deals because I can't finance them, but there are investors out there who want to buy these deals, who either have cash or they have access to private and hard money resources. Right? So that's where this was born. So I got my real estate license. As some investors would say, I crossed over to the dark side. My mentor likes to give me crap about that all the time. Like, you crossed over, you got your license. But I'm glad I did, because what I managed to do was fill those gaps of time in between me getting paid for my real estate investment properties by helping investors get real estate investments themselves. And then it just took off. About a year into being licensed, I get a phone call from a good friend of mine, an agent in the Springs area, who called and said, have you seen the agent ranking report recently? Well, I'm a first-year agent. I didn't know there is an agent ranking report. I didn't know anybody was keeping score, right? But it was pretty cool that they were. He sends it over to me, and they're right at the top of the list. I said this to my mom, by the way, okay? Right at the top of the list is my name as one of the top agents in the Colorado Springs market with 60 transactions. I was the top buyer's agent in my marketplace. You know, it was an incredible feeling because I knew I had found something. Meanwhile, people in my agency are explaining to me in 2010 how bad it was, how hard it was to get somebody to buy a house, how hard it was to find financing for that house. And I'm going, I have no idea what you were talking about. I am doing more deals than I can keep up with, and all of it was because I was specializing in the one part of the marketplace that's completely recession proof, and that is the foreclosure marketplace. So that's what this show is going to be about. That's what I'm hoping you're here to learn. So we're not here to sell you anything. To be honest with you, I want to educate, but I'd like to know, what do you need to know about the foreclosure deals marketplace? What will help you to get into it? I've got software applications through Privy, my sponsor here in the show, that can help you to find deals. I've got hard money resources, help you fund those deals, and I can show you exactly where to improve a deal to stay in line with your marketplace and be profitable on the deal, right? That's what I want to bring to you. Now, how can we help each other here? Well, if you're interested in taking advantage of this information, please share this podcast. Tell your buddies about it. Get the word out there. See, the power of podcasting, the power of this information is only good if it's delivered to people who want to hear it and are going to act upon it. If that describes you, I want to hear from you. So head on out to foreclosuredealscoach.com, my website, foreclosuredealscoach.com, and either schedule a call with me. I'd love to work with you one-on-one, get you in the coaching program, see if this is a good fit for you, or you can attend one of the many live events we're going to be conducting all across the country. We're going to start right here in the Denver marketplace. We're going to have lots of live events where you can come in, we're going to meet up, but today, guys, I want this to be about education. I want to be a part of the life that you're trying to change or create. I want you to be able to make more money for your family, and by mastering both skill sets, real estate investing, you can make a ton of money, and then real estate as an agent, you can make a ton of money, and you never have those gaps in your income. That's what this show is about. I hope that's why you're tuned into it. We've got a lot to cover on the show here. We're going to try to keep the podcast episodes about 20 minutes or so, okay? I don't want to bore you to tears here, but I hope you're entertained. I hope you're having a good time. I hope the energy from what I love to do transfers to you, and that you're enjoying it, and that you'll tell your friends about it so this movement can grow. Here's the thing. The market is about to shift. Say what you want about Trump or politics. We're not going to get into that on this show, but I can tell you one thing. Election season always has an effect on the real estate marketplace. We are heading to another very foreclosure-focused market. There's a lot of agents who don't believe that. There's a lot of agents who would like to believe that we're going to continue to be on this pursuit of growth forever. I can tell you as a guy who lived through the last collapse, that's not even possible. Okay, the world is changing. It's changing around you right now. And if you want to be a part of this movement, we certainly want to have you. So please tune in each and every week. Subscribe to this podcast today. Get involved with this, and then ask us questions, because this needs to be a two-way communication. Listen, as much as I love hearing the sound of my own voice, I'm doing a podcast.
Come on.
I'll let that fly. But so like hearing the sound of my own voice, I want you to be an involved part of this. I want you to know that we care about what you're looking to learn. The truth is that by helping more people to achieve their goals, I can certainly help to achieve mine. And that's what it comes down to. We surround ourselves with like-minded individuals. That's the mission, the guidance, the very essence of what created the Foreclosure Deals Coach program. So this is not a sales pitch. This is education. This is ability. We're hoping to transfer some knowledge to you so you can transfer to other people, and we can help soften the blow of the upcoming foreclosure marketplace that I think is coming right down the pike, and a lot of people are going to make a lot of money during it. I certainly hope you're one of them. Right? So that's it. Once again, my name is Donny Corum, your Foreclosure Deals Coach. This show is sponsored by Privy Software. Check it out, www.privy.com, where you can get information and insight about real estate right as it hits the marketplace. You're going to know about deals as they come in, get the analysis done, and be able to refer the deal over to a hard money lender to get funded all in one very convenient application. It's an incredible application. I'm proud to be sponsored by them and be a part of that program as well. I certainly hope we're going to get to work together and learn a lot about the foreclosure deals marketplace together right here in the podcast. So I hope you've enjoyed this first show. Thanks for tuning in. Looking forward to seeing you 1 week from today on our second episode of Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast with, once again, Donny Corum, your Foreclosure Deals Coach. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and every week we'll see you at the top.